Good evening. This is John Bushka. Last week, I was in Washington, and I just wanted to cover some of the protesting of the federalization of the law enforcement and police that I did pick up. And this was at Lafayette Park. There was a guy with a sign monitoring. Um, it's for the federal government. It's a little hard to read the sign, but there's a guy with a sign, and um, then go over here, and I just don't want to be distracted by. And here's
Your
Link
street seems pretty normal right now.
Saturday
Just
night
the
around
usual
8 o'clock,
police cars and a
August
police tow
23rd.
truck. And there's a crowd at the Lincoln Theater. I'm not sure what it's for. I've been in there many times. Sort of like the Paramount Theater in Austin and the Parkway in Baltimore. It's Lincoln. And Ben's Chili Poles moved across the street. I'm going to try it in a minute.
And then there's a sign warning you about an extended juvenile curfew zone on U Street. And then there's Ben's Chili Bowls that's moved across the street temporarily while they maintained their original restaurant, which is next to Lincoln Theater. This is the one up, I think it's 1206 U Street across the street, and it's actually in pretty good shape. Um, and the traffic was reasonable for Saturday night, but not as mixed, not as many non-white people were on the street. I have to be honest that it was a little bit down, not greatly down. And then this is an arrest being made at the Lincoln Theater. And there's another still of it. And here's a video of it. This is about 9 o'clock.
It seems like there's some activity in front of the Lincoln Theater now. And somebody's being questioned. I don't quite know. At 13th and U Street, northwest of Lincoln. So there seems to be something going on.
And going on, I walked over to 14th Street, and I saw that U Street was completely blocked from 14th, and the Lincoln Theater is between 12th and 13th, so it's blocked it was at least 2 blocks, maybe more. And then here's another video.
Police have blocked 14th U Street at 14th U Street going east because there is a problem in front of the Lincoln Theater where I saw a car being stopped, and it's down the street. I'm trying to show you.
And then this is the next stop Trump's takeover over DC. DC, that's what that other sign I think that the young man was holding at Lafayette was essentially said. Had trouble reading that sign. But this one's very clear. Stop Trump's takeover of DC on the corner of U Street and 14th. And this leads to another similar video.
Yeah, this is I'm at 14th and U Street, northwest. Police have blocked eastbound U Street because of a problem, partly at the Lincoln Theater, which I just walked past. And you can see a lot of vehicles down the street. And there are both air races going on at the same time, which is kind of interesting.
And here's the last video. If that one doesn't want to play. Yeah, this one plays. That something was wrong with that one. We had to redo it.
Now U Street is more normal again.
That was a very short video. And then to go I, um, to the area where I was at should be right in the middle of there's U Street and there's 15th. It's right here at this corner, and the Lincoln Theater is one block. It's between 13th and 12th. So this right in this area is where I was, and just I had been there the Saturday night before, and on the on the eastern side, over towards Slater's, I think, or Shakers, I think it is, on 9th Street. And off, if you go off to the east of Florida Avenue, you've got, you go east of Florida Avenue, you get into an area where Howard University, you also get where the old Griffith Stadium was. Back in the 1950s when I rooted for the Senators. There are old pictures of the area that have Griffith Stadium in it. So I've got one of those somewhere. But generally, yeah, the traffic was pretty brisk on Saturday night, a little bit less, um, a little bit, to be very honest, white men particularly were not as afraid to be out as people of color were. There were not as many people of color as usual. And if on Friday night I was on at JR's and at DuPont Italian Kitchen, the Dick Bar on 17th, and there were no extra police and no around P and Q streets and nothing over towards DuPont Circle and Camera Books. There were no unusual police activities at all, and it was pretty lively Friday night. So anyway, I think this is really just a show of power. I pretty much agree. Military troops should not be used this way normally. Police are trained in order to do this kind of work. Soldiers are not trained to do this work the same way normally. So seems like it's more of a show of force. And now Trump wants to do this in Chicago. And I was just in Chicago on that Amtrak trip that I've showed you pictures of before on Lake Michigan and along the Chicago River, and where there's a Trump Tower, ironically, on the Chicago River. I've showed you that before. So that's just what I had to report on the militarization of troops. So I just thought I would show you these tonight. And I do thank you for listening.